dark. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. Fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. It doesn't matter if the world is gone mad, if we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. The sky is falling and the world is gone mad, and we sing our songs and we just hold on, yeah. So if you're running, stop running. One life, one chance, start living. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. They say that I'm reckless, because I'm relentless. They spit on my face and crush on my name and taking my life in vengeance. Yeah, you could try and blame us and try and take what's sacred, but we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. Fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. It doesn't matter if the world is gone mad, if we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. The sky is falling and the world is gone mad, and we sing our songs and we just hold on, yeah. So if you're running, stop running. One life, one chance, start living. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. It's time that you know. It doesn't matter if the world is gone mad, if we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. We were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Red alert, time, shine a light down. On the front lines of my mind now. is cooking. They talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices cry.
Hello and welcome to the
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, welcome to the WWE Wrestling Talk Show with Reese Rock Jones and
Sean Randy Smith, as we give you our reaction to WWE Fastlane on the road to Wrestlemania.
this could also be called Attack Lane, Confusing Lane, Change Last Minute Lane, because there were quite a few changes to this card.
Yes, quite a lot.
And
Our first matchup.
And every match seemed to end in a post-match beatdown.
It seemed to be that way. We'll start off with our pre-show match, which wasn't what we originally said.
Yes, originally advertised for the pre-show was a match between Andrade and Rey Mysterio. However, as we rewind slightly, on the episode of SmackDown before Fastlane, R-Truth defended the United States Championship in a fatal four-way open challenge after the open challenge was accepted by Andrade, Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe.
Yes.
Samoa Joe emerged victorious after hitting what looked like a very similar rock bottom type move on Andrade.
Yes, quite similar to yours, I think.
So we get to the police. So Carmella is trying to get people to sign a petition so that R-Truth can get his rematch, because as we all know, automatic rematches are not a thing anymore.
Nope, they're not.
However, Samoa Joe came up and interrupted, saying that he had no problem facing any of the three challengers. So a rematch was made with Samoa Joe defending the United States Championship against R-Truth, Rey Mysterio and Andrade in another fatal four-way match. However, this match would take place on the main card.
So the match that got put in its new place was
a tag team match with New Day members Big E and Xavier Woods taking on Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev.
Shall we discuss how this match went, or?
Not really, we'll just say that it ended with a midnight hour from from Big E onto Rusev and the 1-2-3. Also during the main of a pre-show, I should say, Kofi Kingston was told that Vincent Kennedy McMahon wanted to talk to him regarding the WWE Championship match.
And we'll get onto that a bit later on in the show as well.
Speaking of McMahon, the main card opened up with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match with the Usos defending against The Miz and Shane McMahon after they won the titles from them at the Elimination Chamber, and they're not supposed to get rematches, always automatic rematches.
And we'll also say that this match was coming at you from Cleveland, Ohio, the Quicken Loans Arena in Miz's hometown.
Yes, this match was what we would expect. We saw near falls, the skull,
Close calls.
the skull crushing finale. However, The Miz made one mistake.
Which was suggested to him by his father sitting at ringside.
And The Miz made the mistake of thinking that he was Eddie Guerrero.
And the Usos made him pay in a big way.
Because The Miz went for a frog splash, only for Jay to counter it into a roll-up, getting the 3 count, and the Usos remain the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, at least for another few weeks.
At least. Now, this is where the shocking moment happened after the match.
We had the feeling that something would happen here.
Yeah.
So after the match, a disappointed Miz and Shane hugged Miz's father and then began to walk away. However, you could see the writing on the wall when the Miz stepped in front and turned his back to Shane McMahon, only for Shane McMahon to attack the Miz,
causing Shane McMahon to turn heel
for the first time since 2007.
Shane McMahon choked out the Miz at ringside. He even put his hand on the Miz's father and shoved him back in his seat.
This has now led to a match between the two at Wrestlemania, as we kind of suspected it would when this whole thing began at Crown Jewel back in October.
Exactly. So the next match on the match card was for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yes, and this was a relatively short match of Asuka defending against Mandy Rose.
With Sonya Deville in her corner.
And
this match was alright until one moment.
Yes, it was a bit of miscommunication,
shall we say.
Yes, because Sonya Deville had lifted the apron of the ring up to get a candlestick.
Ready to use, I believe, on Asuka, but as Mandy Rose went into the rope, Mandy Rose then slipped on the apron that was still been put up by Sonya Deville.
And ate a kick to her face and then got pinned.
And even after the match, there was showing some tension between Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose.
Yes, so this is probably the start of these two splitting up.
And going their separate ways.
Although they may want to keep them together because of the newly established women's tag team division.
Yes, now, you mentioned this earlier that in the pre-show that Miss McMahon summoned to see Kofi Kingston. Well,
yes.
This is what about.
Well, Vince McMahon agreed to make the WWE Championship match a triple threat match, and that match was going to happen next, only that the rest of the New Day would be banned from ringside. So, Kofi Kingston goes to the ring, all happy that he's going to get into this match. Only to be told when he gets to the ring that this is not the WWE Championship Triple Threat match, but a 2-on-1 handicap match with Kofi Kingston facing both members of the Bar at the same time.
Which prompted a lot of boos from the WWE Universe in Cleveland, Ohio.
Safe to say that the Bar got the upper hand on this. This was, I don't know how to describe. Big E and Xavier Woods did attempt to come down in the end, only to be assaulted by Rusev and Nakamura.
Or as a tag team, as we're starting to call them, Nakamura Day.
After that, it was not long before they was put to sleep.
Nope, not long.
And then things got a little bit worse after the whole double white noise thing. On this week's episode of SmackDown, when Vince McMahon again addressed the situation, basically saying he was grateful for what Kingston had done. He just wasn't championship material and was basically a B+ player. Now, where have I heard that before?
Yeah, where we heard that, oh, that's right, the current WWE champion.
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. And then Mr. McMahon said, all right, you're going to get an opportunity. But then he got interrupted by 6 other superstars.
He didn't say he was going to get his opportunity. Well, he did, but in order for Kofi Kingston to get his opportunity, he would have to win a gauntlet match this upcoming Tuesday on SmackDown against Rowan, Randy Orton,
Me.
Samoa Joe,
Yeah.
and both members of the Bar.
So, in other words, Kofi Kingston has to run the gauntlet.
And he very nearly did it a few weeks ago before the Elimination Chamber, only to be eliminated at the end.
So this next match was a triple threat tag team match for the WWE Tag Team title.
For the Raw Tag Team titles, we switched brands here. The Revival would defend against NXT stars Aleister Black and Ricochet, and former champions Glorious Gable in Bobby Roode and Chad Gable.
Now this match was pretty much all over the place.
As triple threat matches tend to be.
But in any event, we have a potential winner.
Yes, after being hit by the shatter machine, Chad Gable was pinned for the Revival to retain the Tag Team Championships. After the match, Bobby Roode tried to attack Aleister Black and Ricochet, and even the Revival got involved, only for Ricochet and Aleister Black to stand tall.
With a couple of black masses and 630 flashing. And now, we're going to get to our next match, which we talked about earlier on the show.
Yes, the next match was the United States Championship Fatal 4-Way match, which was made on Replacer. Now, Fatal 4-Way matches are as good as, if not all over the place, just like triple threat matches are.
Except it's just one extra person, but in any event, we have an eventual winner.
Yes, Andre trying to be Rey Mysterio by stealing the three Eddie Guerrero by stealing the Three Amigos,
which was a bit wrong.
We had the Spinebuster hit on Samoa Joe by R-Truth. R-Truth then decided to play his idol John Cena, even though R-Truth is slightly older than John Cena, but that's just it.
Yeah.
By going for the Five Knuckle Shuffle. Then we had the Scissors Kick hit on Andre, only for Samoa Joe to get into it. Right. R-Truth was then thrown out of the ring. Rey Mysterio hit a 619 on Samoa Joe, and it looked for a second that Rey Mysterio was going to become champion, only for him to miss the splash and to be caught in the Coquina Clutch.
So, your eventual winner of the match, and still United States champion, Samoa Joe.
Which is a good thing, because they were not going to take the title off of him after just a couple of days, although they have done it several times in the past.
Now, this next match was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yes, and Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Renee Young would be joined on commentary by WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix.
Yeah.
And she will play an interesting part in this, which we'll get into in a second. But here we had the Boston Hug connection of Sasha Banks and Bayley go defend their titles against Tamina and Nia Botch.
Yes, and she lived up to her name in this match, that's for sure.
Yes, because there was a segment that was, what was it? It was like a super kick into a Samoa drop.
Yeah.
That didn't quite go as planned.
Now, I bet you were wondering and thinking, how on earth did Beth Phoenix play a role in this match?
Oh, hold on a second. Towards the end of this match, we had the knees from Sasha Banks onto Nia Jax, and we had the Macho Man elbow from Bayley onto Jax, which Tamina broke up. After, with Bayley and Nia Jax left in the ring, it looked like Nia Jax was going for some kind of powerbomb, only for Bayley to counter and catch Nia Jax into a low rope. Being the sore losers that they are, Nia Jax and Tamina attacked Bayley and Sasha after the match. But then, it didn't end there, because Tamina decided to get into the face of Beth Phoenix when she decided to try and get the nose and then stop it. Tamina ate her right hand, but then Nia Jax got involved. Despite fighting back, it was 2-on-1. Natalya then came running down to the ring to try to help, but it was still a more or less 2-on-1 situation.
Yep.
So what this has done is basically put into effect that it looks like Beth Phoenix will get back into in-ring competition for WrestleMania, whether that be a match against Nia Jax and Tamina or being involved in the Women's Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania. We are yet to find out.
Yeah. Now, this next match was for the WWE Championship.
Despite Mr. McMahon's little incident with Kofi Kingston earlier, this match was turned into a triple threat match.
Yeah.
Because after being pulled from the Elimination Chamber match, Mustafa Ali, who was probably going to be what Kofi Kingston is,
Probably.
was added into this match and given the shot he never had.
And he went up against Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan, with Eric Rowan going up for the WWE title.
No, this wasn't for the WWE Championship. This was for the WWE Green Championship.
The Eco Championship, as we like to call it.
Save the Planet Championship.
Now, as we said before, many times, triple threat matches are unpredictable and they go all over the place.
Yes, this one even went into the fans.
Yeah.
We had Kevin Owens almost had to win at least once with a stunner, not a Stone Cold stunner, but still a stunner. Kevin Owens was eventually basically thrown out of the match due to outside interference from Rowan, and because of the triple threat match rules, there was nothing the referee could do about it.
True, absolutely correct.
Mustafa Ali went for the
whatever his finishing move was.
Yeah, so we went for his 360 move, splash, only to be caught in midair with a running knee, similar to what Randy Orton would do.
Pretty much.
And that would get the pinfall, which means that still WWE champion is Daniel Bryan. After the match, Rowan decided to chokeslam Ali for no reason.
Yeah. And before we move on to our next match, there was even a segment throughout the night with Elias, but however, the third time he came out and tried to do his encore.
Hold on, we'll get to what happened the third time after the next one before we go to the main event.
Of course. Brilliant. Now, this match has WrestleMania stipulations.
Well, technically every match would affect something with WrestleMania, but this one more so than any other. Becky Lynch won the women's Royal Rumble match, sending her to WrestleMania. She was then suspended for not going to go and see a doctor. She was then unsuspended after apologizing to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, only to be suspended again by Vince McMahon and replaced by Charlotte.
Which was outraging among fans.
After weeks of attacking Charlotte, and then Ronda Rousey basically walking out of WWE and leaving the championship, Stephanie McMahon lifts the suspension on Becky Lynch and puts Becky Lynch against Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship at Fastlane. Only Ronda Rousey did not exactly vacate the championship, as she made it clear.
And turning heel in the process.
Wait, we'll get to that. And then the situation after that was the match would still stand between Charlotte and Becky, only with the stipulation that if Becky won, she'd be added to the Women's Championship match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And basically Charlotte had nothing to lose. Then then, of course, Ronda Rousey decided to go all MMA ass kicking chick and turned heel on the crowd.
Pretty much.
So we get to this match. Becky Lynch is hobbling out there in the crutch.
Mm-hmm.
And then this wasn't exactly a long match, so we'll just
Gloss over a little bit.
Charlotte focused her attack on the knee, of course.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Charlotte would apply the figure 8 leg lock, only for Ronda Rousey to appear, come into the ring, and basically attack Becky Lynch. This would then force the referee to disqualify Charlotte Flair. Now, bear in mind, the stipulation was if Becky Lynch won. It didn't say how she won, it was if she won.
So,
And
because she won,
Ronda Rousey wanted to have a triple threat match, so Ronda Rousey made sure the match was a triple threat match.
quite a clever move there from the Rowdy one.
You say that, but then she's just added to the statistic of losing the championship.
True. Very, very true. And now, we're going to go on to an interesting segment that happened after this match.
Yes, everyone's favourite musician Elias.
Was cutting what was supposed to be like a little concert, but he was interrupted by the catwalk girl, Lacey Evans.
Yes, Lacey Evans. Someone needs to tell this person that WWE is a wrestling company, not a model agency.
But then Elias went back, tried to go back to his singing until I took him out.
Yes, after Evans went back, Elias was hit by an RKO, and then Randy Orton was hit with a phenomenal fallout. That would set up something for WrestleMania.
As well. But now, it's time for the reason that we played that theme song at the very start of our show.
It is now time for the main event. The team of Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and waiter Baron Corbin would take on, for the final time,
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield.
Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and the returning Roman Reigns.
In the Shield. And they even came out for the last time through the crowd.
Now, what do we say here? Shield matches are always all over the place, and especially a 6-man tag team match.
And this one was no exception.
We had them fighting all over the place.
We did.
We had the Claymore kick performed. I'm pretty sure we had the Dirty Deeds somewhere.
It even brought to the outside where the kickoff panel normally is.
Yes, but the end of this, Bobby Lashley was taken out with a curb stop on one of the announce tables.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre was taken out with a Shield triple powerbomb through one of the announce tables.
Ouch.
That would leave Baron Corbin to be taken out by a Shield triple powerbomb. The winners of this match are The Shield. Will it be their final time? Will Dean Ambrose really be leaving WWE? Who knows?
Who knows?
But
So,
that was Fastlane 2019, and for a pay-per-view which normally in its history is a filler pay-per-view, they did a good job of setting up and enhancing the Wrestlemania storylines in this pay-per-view.
correct.
Speaking of Wrestlemania, as it stands, the Wrestlemania card looks as follows.
We will start with these matches in no particular order.
Brock Lesnar will defend the Universal Championship against Seth Rollins.
Will Seth Rollins be able to burn it down in terms of Brock Lesnar's Universal title reign?
Ronda Rousey will defend the Raw Women's Championship in a triple threat match against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
We've heard a lot of rumours regarding this match.
Buddy Murphy, probably on the kickoff show,
Probably the Kickoff Cruiserweight Championship.
will defend the Cruiserweight Championship against the number one contenders tournament winner, which is either going to be Tony Nese or Cedric Alexander.
Pretty much.
After attacking Ric Flair on his 70th birthday celebration, we can chuck the rulebook out the window in this one when Batista faces Triple H. No holds barred.
This match is going to be violent as anything.
In his retirement match,
Which he hinted about on Monday Night Raw.
Kurt Angle will face a yet-to-be-named opponent, but probably going to be John Cena.
That's what we've heard. So if we hear anything different, we will let you fans know.
Shane McMahon will take on The Miz.
In a match that we believe, we don't know what kind of match it's going to be yet.
It's probably going to be a normal match of Shane jumping off something stupid.
It's Shane McMahon. It wouldn't be WrestleMania without that.
And AJ Styles will take on Randy Orton following the events of the Little Elias segment.
And following the events that also happened on SmackDown when I confronted AJ Styles.
Those are the matches that we have confirmed.
But now,
The ones that we don't have confirmed but are likely to get are the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal,
correct,
the Women's Battle Royal.
correct.
It's looking very likely that Daniel Bryan will defend the WWE Championship against Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
The Demon of Finn Balor is rumored to make an appearance, whether that be to reclaim the Intercontinental Championship, which by the way he lost on Raw,
To Bobby Lashley.
whether it be to face Lashley, or whether there's any truth in the rumour of the Demon against the Dead Man.
Or in which would be the biggest match of Finn Balor's career.
We'll see what happens there. Samoa Joe will probably be involved in the United States Championship match.
But we don't know what kind of match though.
Asuka is rumoured to defend the SmackDown Women's Championship against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville in a triple threat match. And there has been talk of doing the Usos against the Hardys for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. So
Well,
that's about, what, 13, 15 matches. It's going to be a long night when we get to WrestleMania in just 22 days.
absolutely. So until then, he's been
Mr. Rock Jones, and he's been
Sean Randy Smith, and we will be giving you more. Stay tuned for us quite soon because we'll be doing some more WrestleMania type shows on the build up to WrestleMania.
Yes, we will have the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2019,
Yeah,
NXT TakeOver New York,
the first NXT takeover before WrestleMania.
and WrestleMania itself coming at you in the next few weeks.
So we will see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.